Namaste, Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to MMK The Eagle View. Hope you all had a wonderful New Year celebrations. Today we are going to see a very important subject on Masood Azhar. A very familiar name, one of the India's most wanted terrorists. A day before, Twitter was abuzz, X was abuzz with lot of tweets that this guy was killed at 5 a.m. in the morning in Pakistan by an attempted bomb blast, and this guy was killed. So Twitter was set ablaze and a lot of people started retweeting. A lot of celebrations were there from the Indian Twitter tree, but eventually we need to know what exactly. It's good, always good to celebrate a terrorist getting killed in this fashion, especially one who had done killed so many innocent lives, have done so many dastardly terrorist attacks on India. It's good to celebrate. A good terrorist is always a dead terrorist. So in that sense we can see what exactly had happened. So let's firstly understand who is this guy, Maulana Masood Azhar. He was one among 11 kids who were born in Bahawalpur, Punjab, in a family. He was a school dropout, 8th pass I think, and then later on he joined a madrasa. In that madrasa he had all this education. He got introduced himself to jihad, and at this young age he went and participated in the Soviet-Afghan war. We all know Talibans were then equipped by America to fight against the Soviets. So he fought against the Soviets, and in one of the battle he had a severe injury. Then after he took retirement from the active jihad, came back to Pakistan, and his brother's terrorist outfit, Harkatul Ansar. So he became a motivational speaker for Harkatul Ansar. He started his radicalization preaching in Pakistan, travelled across Pakistan, especially in Punjab province, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, parts of Balochistan. He went to Iraq, and he did go to Somalia. His role in equipping the Somalian Islamic militia has been significant, very significant. CIA has documented it. He himself has confessed about it, about equipping them, funding them, getting the jihadis from Pakistan, making them fight in Somalia. So the Somalia civilian unrest and the scores and scores of people who got killed due to the violations, due to the violence of this terrorist, he played a significant role in it. Then after in 94 he travelled to UK. In UK, in one of the most prominent mosques, he gave his sermon where he introduced jihad. He spoke about what is jihad is all about. He in fact justified jihad. He said every one of us should play jihad. We should all be jihadis. So the word jihad was formally introduced by him to UK thanks to the liberals there. They invited him. Nobody could even check him. By then the damage was already done. A lot of new jihadis came up in UK, and UK eventually is paying the price till date. Then after he was travelling across the country in Pakistan, and one of his significant one was to have hate speech against India, against Kashmir especially. And then he said we have mujahids from various countries, 15 countries will eventually cross over into Kashmir, fight for the Kashmiri jihad. So that's the time where 90s where this separatist movement of J&K become a jihadist movement of J&K. There are two different things. One, you want to have a separate nation for yourself. A lot of fringe groups does it even today. So that's a different story. It's about secessionism and separatism. But here this was actually transformed into jihadism, where nobody else can coexist in this kind of an atmosphere. So he actively did that, and he infiltrated into India through fake documents, and eventually he was arrested by the Indian security forces in Srinagar in 1995. Then after he was jailed in Badabinbag cantonment jail in Srinagar. He was in fact one of those terrorists in early 90s, mid 90s, where many intelligence agencies came to India to integrate him, including CIA and MI5. Later, there were 4 foreign tourists who were killed in Kashmir, who was taken hostage and later were killed by in Kashmir. That was done by Azad's his terrorist organization, who by then mutated from Harkatul Ansar to Harkatul Mujahideen, HUM. So during our times, HUM was one of the most active outfit in Kashmir, involved in a lot of terrorist activities against civilians, against tourists and against security forces. So their demand was to release Masood Azhar, which eventually didn't happen. He was launched in the jail. Later, 99 December, we know the very infamous incident of one of our Indian airline flight being hijacked from Kathmandu. It flew all the way and landed up in Kandahar. So in exchange, Masood Azhar was demanded to be exchanged. So the mastermind behind this was his younger brother. Eventually, we didn't have much of an option. There are a lot of criticism about we shouldn't have released this terrorist. India shouldn't have budged it. But the government at that point of time took a call to release those hostages, to save those hostages. So he was eventually released. And Pakistan was pressurized at that time, who kind of played that mediation between us, who was the brainchild. He is a Pakistani by birth and Pakistani by always actions and deeds. But that negotiation ended up nowhere. We were told by Pakistan, if at all we find these hijackers, we will inform you. We will try to prosecute them. Later, he was sheltered by then Taliban 1.0, not the 2.0, the current one. He was sheltered for quite some time. He was back to Bawalpur again started his religious preaching, so-called religious preaching, which is nothing but promoting jihad. By then, HUM had amassed so much of wealth in terms of donations and hawalas and all illegal monies and money laundering. HUM, Harkatul Mujahideen, became as a family enterprise. It's no more a terrorist organization. Yeah, of course it does terrorism, but it's eventually a family-run company. He gave his very famous speech in Karachi addressing 20,000 people where he spoke about jihad. He said we will launch a jihad in Kashmir. And this guy was so audacious that while he was in arrest in Kashmir, he said, we have 12, jihadis coming from 12 different countries. We will answer with rocket launcher for your, low quality carbine guns. That is the kind of audacity he had. Finally, in 2001, we ended up that both the countries almost came very close to a war due to the parliament attack on December 13, 2001. He was responsible for it. It was proclaimed. By then, Pakistan was under some sort of international pressure from their best friends as well. So he was arrested, prosecuted, and he was kept under house arrest. It's a sheer joke that you give a 20,000 square feet mansion for a terrorist, come jihadist, come a scoundrel, and then you put him on a house arrest. Later he was released by a Karachi based court, where India started fuming. The world countries were actually, by then they looked at what kind of justice system Pakistan has. Pakistan has its own identity. The purpose of creation of Pakistan is coming to an end now. Yesterday I was discussing with one of my friends. It will eventually has to break down. It has to go into multiple territories, because the purpose of creating Pakistan doesn't exist anymore. It is about to be end. So this guy was roaming freely. Then after parliament we had the Ayodhya attack, and then we had 2016 Pathankot terror attack. He by then cremated the Harkatul Mujahideen. Then he created something called Jaish-e-Mohammed, a new terror outfit, but it's the same this thing, that's basically to secure his assets. So JEM did all the suicidal attacks in Kashmir. The one most prominent one was Pathankot, where we lost n number of soldiers. Later in 2018 we had Pulwama, where we lost 44 of our brave soldiers of CRPF. So after Pulwama, India went and did a surgical strike on Pakistan that's called a Balakot strike. Now this news has come up on 1st of Jan that he has been killed by unidentified gunman by means of an bombless. Now here lies a real story. You can keenly observe. With the best of the information we have from open source and with few of our sources, very confident sources who know the subject very well, they said there are solid intelligence input which was given to India by the friendly quote-unquote intelligence agencies. And the attack on Balakot was not a symbolic or a generic one. It was meant for a specific target, that was Masood Azhar. It was meant to kill him and his close accomplice. So Masood Azhar, in Pakistan, you can kill a prime minister, you can kill a army chief, you can kill an ISI chief, you can literally kill anyone. But killing Masood Azhar is not a joke because he has 6 layers of security. Can you imagine a hard terrorist being provided with 6 layers of security? First one is his own bodyguards, close protection group. Second one is jihadis, the terrorists. Third one by the local police. Third one by the Pakistani army, fourth one by the Pakistani paramilitary, and fifth one by the police. 6 level of security for one of the most dastardly wanted terrorists. Was decided that India has to take the root, not the pawns. We can't go and cut the leaves, we need to pull out the root. The root was Masood Azhar. Eventually, the mission was successful because the technology used and the intelligence used from our friendly nation has to be kept confidential for quite some time. This data has not been revealed to the public. Eventually, maybe down 10-14 years, when this all get declassified, we'll get the exact picture of it through a biography or a government owns disclosure. We don't know. But all likely 90% he was killed there. There was one more information which came at that point of time where it got missed out of media. That is, there was one VVIP takeoff from Balakot, a rare ambulance of Pakistani Air Force, which flew a VIP, unknown VIP, from Balakot to a military hospital in Rawalpindi. Now, there are n number of terrorists. Now, Masood Azhar's son, he is not eventually going to be a terrorist. These are jokers who have been getting brainwashed on from outdated stuff like jihad, and they promote it. These guys are running an enterprisal business. It's a business. It's not nothing to do with ideology, nothing. If it has to do with ideology, Masood Azhar's son and his entire siblings would have been, fighting in Kashmir or elsewhere in Syria. That's not the case. They all live a very, very lavish mansion life in Pakistan and in Dubai and various other locations. So this guy was shifted to Pakistani hospital, a military hospital in Rawalpindi. Later, a year later, there was a bomb blast which was reported in this very same military hospital. Later, it was said to be a cylinder blast. And someone got seriously injured, which eventually died, who was all likely to be Masood Azhar. So he was killed in 2018. It's the most, I would not say it's a proven one. With the best of the inputs we have, we can safely assume that this guy got killed, executed, either in Balakot airstrike or in, the military hospital in Rawalpindi. Why? Because to substantiate this fact, all his sermons, you can go to YouTube and search Masood Azhar's bayan. His bayans are missing, his sermons are missing, his anti-India speeches are missing, his threats to India is missing. He's been out of scene since 2018. There are a lot of money which was spent to, republish those jihadi videos again and again in various platforms, especially in telegrams where they actively have telegram channels. They propagate this video to make more and more youth radicalized and eventually to become terrorists. But there is no new video or is not even a clip of his voice which has come out from Masood Azhar's Jaish-e-Mohammed. Even now they have transformed their name from Jaish-e-Mohammed to PAFF, some fascist bullshit they call it. It's basically mutation, theory of mutation, because they have been put under watch and you have a different name. And that essentially should not be an Islamic name. It should be a non-Islamic name. That's why you see all these terrorist organizations moving into Lashkar-e-Toiba becoming TRF, the resistance front, So they have pulled out the jihadi element from there and they are trying to kind of generalize and have this kind of, communist or leftist sided narrative to portray they have been fighting for some injustice or so. They have eventually done that. So why this has come up now? So what is the source of information? So when we went and did research this in internet, so there is one Twitter handle called Nepal Correspondence, which comes out with, which operates from Nepal obviously, which comes out with mind-blowing or breaking news every now and then. That seems to be a Pakistani ISI's operative, either directly funded or indirectly. So those are the early ones who came out with this photograph. So when we checked that photographs, those photographs of that bomb blast was, I think, in some other incident somewhere in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or elsewhere in Balochistan in 2018. It's not the latest video. Secondly, why now to conclude this video, why Pakistan need to do it? Okay, so now look at Pakistan's economic status. They need money. They are begging for money, left, right, out and center. Their Islamic friends are no more good lenders now. They have said enough is enough. We are not going to give you any more money. China is kind of restructuring the loan. In a way, it makes them, more debtors. So they're exactly banking on IMF to release a loan. IMF, which is predominantly US and Western countries led, has listened to India, and they have been pressurizing Pakistan to shut many of those jihadi factories which are against India. So there's a considerable amount of pressure which was given to Asim Munir, Pakistani chief, when he travelled to US as early as in, I think, in first week of December. They had committed something. They said we will do something about it. They are under pressure and they are desperately in need of money. The alternate one is to go to BRICS, to join BRICS and to beg from there. India has put its foot down in terms of Pakistan joining BRICS. So in fact, they went and traveled to Russia. They sought Russia's help to joining BRICS. So Russia is also not committed. It's literally non-committal about the Pakistani's participation in BRICS. So BRICS, people bring in money, people bring in technology, trade. What can Pakistanis bring? The Pakistan can only bring jihad, which none of these countries would want to. China would want to have jihadis in their hinterland. No, it's not the case. So now the only way is to seek the money loan from IMF for the next oncoming budget in March. So if IMF has to pay, they are already under they were under FATF grey list for almost 4 years. Now they are in white list, subject to there are certain 76 plus conditions which they have to fulfill. One of the biggest condition is to punish this guy Masood Azhar, or to hand him over to India to prosecute legal charges here. If they hand over, the rest of the jihadi factory will get disturbed, because 30% of the Pakistani population is already radicalized. They don't understand, or they don't want to know physics. They still believe in the earth is flat theory. So these guys will lose out big time. Pakistanis will lose out big time on their jihadi factory. They don't want to, obviously they will not do it. Second is to punish this guy or put him in jail, which eventually it's not going to happen again. It's going to generate at least 70% of the same anger if you would have got killed or would have been handed over to India. Now, Bilawal Bhutto said a couple of months before that this guy is not in Pakistan, he is in Afghanistan. Taliban immediately reverted that these guys are not in Afghanistan, don't play this hoax, they are very much your citizen. Masood Azhar is a Pakistani and he is living in your territory, better just watch out your hinterland. Now they will officially, they staged manage this entire show to account this idiot or to account this moron, which was killed 4 years before by India, that this guy has been killed by unknown men, which is 35 unknown unknown men have taken up almost 35 most wanted or somewhere related to anti-Indian activities, and the terrorists who did something or supporters of terrorism, any which way 35 good neutralization has been done by unknown men. So now they are banking on it, and now they are effectively using Twitter to kind of propagate it. This is our final analysis about it. We have put the facts in front of you. We may be wrong. We don't know, we may be wrong, because all this are fact, not 100% fact based. You need to read through the lines. But this entire sensation of Masood Azhar being killed on 1st Jan 2024 seems to be an ISI propaganda. Hope you like this video. Do like, share, subscribe to our channel, and do give your valuable feedback in comment section. This year we want more of your support. We will come out more frequently with more number of videos. Hope you like this video. Thank you all. Jai Hind.